Hey one, hey all. It says we are live. It's Thursday night. I'm here. You're beautiful. You know what that means, man. It's time for GotBot Goes live. And we are heading into the weekend. And I'm very happy about that. It has been a very busy and exhausting day for me. I just had a lot, I guess, going on. I'm happy that tomorrow's Friday. Nothing bad. Just one of those like heavy days where there's a lot going on, right? But nothing bad. Heading into the weekend, we're gonna have some fun here tonight. We have a big unboxing. Actually, for the next few weeks, we have, assuming the timing of everything works out, we should have a few unboxings, some new, some old. It'll be interesting over the next few weeks for sure. I of course I'm just going to get things set up here. You know how it goes when we settle in here. Yes, and I see you guys all over there in the chat already, so you're going to have to bear with me. Hope you guys are having a tremendous week. I really do. And I'm very thankful that you're here, giving me some of your time as we head into the weekend. And I'll explain what we're going to be doing tomorrow as well, just so you're aware. Let's see here. Hey, Ultra Megatronus. Hey, Manitoba. Hey, Mike. I'm having a pretty good week. I can't complain, man. Here, we'll do that. Hold on. Hey, Autobot Logan. Transformer Stop Motion Big M. Waspinator. Hey, David. Warren. BS Prime. Happy to see you here. Devlin. Happy to see you here, buddy. And that's all good. That's all grand. Of course, I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, a.k.a. GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share. Of course, subscribe. And while you're at it, loud them up, baby. Hit that notification bell. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor. All the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we offer to you through Teespring. And of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. I got a couple of pieces of like patron channel member content that I've been trying to get up, but it's just been bonkers. So I got a couple of pieces overdue and a couple of other ideas. So there is stuff coming, and I apologize to those who have been waiting on it. Hey, Jay. Hey, Razor Bear. Fun fact, Razor Bear there just said good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Very similar to the, that line that Jim Carrey says in The Truman Show. I just found out recently that apparently he is retiring. He enjoyed being home during the last couple of years. He's been successful. Apparently, he's retiring. Before we get into our fun stuff, I would, however, like to. I actually done this last week for a wrestler, for Scott Hall. Tonight, I would like to do a moment of silence for Stephen Keener. Most of us probably don't necessarily know the name. Some of us do. But if you don't know the name, Stephen Keener is the voice of G1 Fortress Maximus, Scorponok, Hardhead, Hunger, Mindwipe, and Scattershot. And he passed away this past week. So we're going to do a moment of silence for him, and then we will get into this week's news. Hey Tracer, being blown away in Kansas. That's rough, man. Wish I can say staying away from the stores, but man, been lucking out with Transformers. Well, sometimes, listen, man, sometimes the fates are on your side, right? Now, I'm going to address this first and get it right out of the way because people have been asking me about it over the last couple of weeks. A couple of weeks ago, I gave my thoughts about Blitzwing. By the way, there was a new picture that went up, and the new Blitzwing looks tiny next to the Titan's Return and the T30. However, I'll give credit where credit's due. It might be a Voyager. It might still have the mass of the Voyager, even though it's not as tall. And the reason I say that is because look at like Kingdom or Siege Ultra Magnus. Compared to the Combiner Wars, people were like, man, that's way smaller than the Combiner Wars. How is it a liter? Well, the thing is, the mass is more condensed. So it was a liter. Actually, the Siege one, I can't speak for the Kingdom one, I never reviewed it, but the Siege one was actually 3 grams more than the Combiner Wars one. Plus, it had more paint and stuff. So, like, it was a true blue liter. It's just that the mass was more densely packed and condensed. That might be the case with this Blitzwing. That being said, we're seeing it alongside 2 Voyagers, and it is significantly, not significantly, it's a bit smaller. It might be dense. I'm still not seeing anything that tells me it's a liter class. I look at it and I see $40 worth of value. Canadian. I see $40 worth of value Canadian. I don't see $80 worth of value Canadian. I don't even know what a liter is in the US. Somebody tell me what a liter is in the US. Hey, Slow DK, is it 50 in the US now? I don't know. But some people asked me, because when I've been talking to some people, and based on my initial thoughts, people said, yeah, but like the shoulders of the Thrilling 30 are garbage. And, you know, the Titan's Return doesn't look the part with his purple face and his beige arms. And I said, man, you could fix all that very easily. Trust me, I'm garbage with tools. I can barely hammer a nail in the wall, and 99.999% of the time, if I try to take a screw out of a transformer, I just strip it. Like, I can't do tools. I'm no good at painting. I don't have good hand-eye coordination. I've never been able to hit a baseball batting it. I've never hit a badminton birdie. I can't dunk a basketball. So when people say, like, oh, I can't do it, lies. Yes, you can. If I can, you can. So I'm going to very, very quickly just note a couple of things. First, this is my, well, not mine. It is one of the Scraplets, who is also a collector. It is his Thrilling 30 Blitzwing. And you'll notice, like, here's an arm, not coming out all the way around. It's in there. This one over here, it's in there. It is solid. Like, it's not coming out at all any way you do it. It's very simple fix. On the back, there are 5 screws. You're going to have to, like, move the nose cone. You're going to have to move this. But there's basically 2 screws up at the top, and there's 2 screws down at the bottom, and then there's one kind of in the center. They actually unscrew very nicely, very easily. I did that with this guy. I did it with Double Dealer. You take the 2 parts apart, basically, and then up by, see if I can show it, because I'm going to take that up by the top of the shoulder. There's like a little cylindrical piece. That little cylindrical piece, you can cut it down with an X-Acto knife or a crafting knife, or you could sand it down just a little bit. And then the seam going down the side, little tiny bit of sanding, put it all back together, and boom, fixed. It's that simple. It's 5 screws. It's the simplest fix in the world. And he's perfect. Now, some people have also said that they found the paint on their head and stuff scraped. I guess I lucked out. It's never, on this one, it's never, this has been in our house. I had it first, and then one of the Scraplets inherited it since it came out in 2013, 2014, and it's fine. It's not a scratch on it. Then we get to the Titan's Return. Let's say you don't like that. You're like, no, man, I want something that's a little more accurate. And some people said, I like the Titan's Return, but I prefer the Takara, and you can't find the Takara, or it's too expensive. Well, then paint it. You know, like, I look at this guy, and his kneecaps are a mix of white and a little bit, and I mean a very little bit, of gloss gray. A grand total of $4 worth of paint. The purple is just purple, many, many coats. When I started putting the purple on the feet and the arms, it was going on streaky, and I thought to myself, oh man, this isn't going to cover. This is not going to cover. Many very thin layers. I wouldn't even be able to tell you how many. Several very thin layers. And sometime later, same with the purple up right here. Sometime later, I ended up getting some Tester's clear coat and just giving it a spray. The face is very simple. Got yourself a fine tip silver paint pen. No more purple face. Just color everything under the visor silver. Boom. And even the turret, or the tank turret back here, was white with a little bit of brown umber mixed in, all together. You know, this guy cost me $30. Maybe to customize him was $10 worth of paint. $40 value here. I see $40 value in the new one. I don't see 80. That's what I'm comparing it to. You might think differently, but the little bit of paint that I did here, easy. You know, some people have said, you know, this one doesn't look animation accurate, so I'm going to drop the $80 Canadian again on the new one. And that's your choice, man. If you see the $80 worth of value, cool. But I look at it and say, you know, for $10 worth of paint that I can use for several other customs, so it's probably really more like $2, maybe $3 worth of paint on this guy. For the $2 or $3 to make this guy look animation accurate, I'm fine with it. But to each their own. The only reason I did that is nothing against the Blitzwing. I mean, it's up to you. I already gave my thoughts on it. But people were asking me, well, how did you fix the Blitzwing from T30? How did you do the paint? I have the full reviews up on the channel. But here tonight, before I get into the news, I just wanted to point out to you what I did to customize those. And I guarantee you, do not sit there and say you can't. Yes, you can. I believe in you, because if I can, you 100% can. Now let's get into the news. And I don't like the plane to that Blitzwing. But, I mean, again, to each their own. Okay, so first things first. Legacy Core Wave 1 out in the United States, out in Canada. I just found out before we went on the air. I haven't seen it myself, but I did find out that they're out in Canada. I have the Hot Rod. I got the Kingdom version. I'm not getting the Legacy version. Not a bad little Hot Rod, actually. And I had it specifically, if you saw the review, because I wanted to go with my Star Convoy. And I think it works well in that regard. Is it a perfect Hot Rod? No. Do I like everything about it? No. Do I think it's kind of nifty? Yes. Then we have the Skywarp. I'm not a fan of that Skywarp or Starscream mold. If you are, cool. And the only reason I'm not a fan is not that I don't like it. It's that I don't understand why they're that small. It just doesn't make sense to my sensibilities. If you're in for it, cool. The only thing I don't like about the Skywarp is, why does he come with the tuning fork rather than his null rays? I do find that troublesome. He's a seeker. He should have had his null rays. But I am in for Iguanus if I can find the guy. I do want it. I know a lot of people have criticized it, saying, well, the robot should just look like the robot and then he turns into the bike, or he should actually have a shell. Actually, having a shell this day and age would be very limited articulation. I don't know if it would be worth the production, because most people would say it's a shell and lay it to the side. I think that this is a nice go-between, but I could be wrong. Maybe if I get the guy in hand, I'll have a different opinion. But right now, I feel like that's a good way to homage pretenders while still having their alt mode, while still having articulation. They're a difficult thing, I think, to do an update of. I really think that they're a difficult thing to do an update of. Like, if I look back, for example, the only pretender I had as a kid was Skullgrin. And when I think back to Skullgrin, like, I don't know where his belt and stuff is. I never used it, because what a cumbersome nuisance that was if you wanted to put the Transformer in and out of the shell, having to take that belt off. But as I think about it, I mean, maybe give the shell elbows. But really, there's nothing else you could do with the shell. You would need all that space in the shell for the robot. Then for the robot inside, maybe give him knees, maybe give him elbows. That's a lot to kind of ask for an update. I feel like they'd have to sell that for, again, a very inflated price that wouldn't make sense. I think this might be a good way to go. I mean, maybe they all shouldn't be core, but I think that this could be a way to go. Anyway, we'll see when time comes, but the core classes are out, as are, of course, in the U.S. anyway, the Leaders and the Deluxes and the Voyagers. They're all out in the U.S., not here in Canada yet. Symbiote Studios showed off their pin and plush set. That's Optimus Prime as a cat. I mean, okay, Optimus is a cat. Okay. It's a crossover apparently with Catnip Bravo. I don't know what that is, but it's Optimus Prime with whiskers and cat ear. It's not for me. It might be for you. It's not for me. Buzzworthy Bumblebee. I don't get this line. It's like they said, okay, so everybody loves Bumblebee, so we're going to do a packaging with Bumblebee on it, and then we're just going to mash everything into it. We had the Origins Bumblebee, which was like wholly unique, and we've had some like combiner type of like little crash combiner junk things. And we've had some studio series reissues, again, not here in Canada yet, but like that copy, that Cliff Jumper, right? And now we have Cyberverse thrown in there with one-step changers. Stop making the one-step changers. Your old one-step changers have not sold. I can't speak for where you live, but here they're pure garbage that don't sell. Stocking the shelves, keeping new product from coming in. I've talked about the price hikes and stuff before, and I've said, man, they got to start looking internally and making sensible cuts. They need to trim down the lines that don't sell, and maybe it's different where you live. I can't speak for that. I can only speak from my experience here where I live. And one-step changers, since they were introduced way back in, Age of Extinction, they don't sell. They don't sell. They go marked down to clearance, and then they kind of vanish. I don't know if they sell, but I've heard that more often than not, what ends up happening is they go out in the compactor because they never did sell. Stop wasting the plastic, stop wasting the cardboard, stop wasting the paint, stop wasting the research and development. It's not worth it. Nobody that I can think of wants a one-step. What is it? What ones is it? Shockwave, Bumblebee, or Wheeljack. Do the deluxes. If you want to re-release something, do them as deluxes. Like the Deluxe B was noted as being quite good from Cyberverse. The Deluxe Shockwave was very good from Cyberverse. I don't understand why you do this. And people will say, yeah, but they're for younger fans. I'm going to tell you now, kids are kids. They're not stupid. Stop insulting their intelligence. They're smarter than something like this gives them credit for. They're smarter than a one-step changer gives them credit for. Stop it. Respect them for what they are. Human beings with a brain. Just because they're little human beings and their brains are still developing doesn't mean that they can't tell the difference between something that's junk and something that's good. Simple as that. I think that the new Buzzworthy releases are a failure, if you didn't already know. We saw some concept art for both Volcanicus from Cyberverse and Dinobot Snarl in his Dino mode. I thought that those Dinobots look great. We've seen some more of that artwork in the last few weeks, and I think it looks really good. Color me gosh darn impressed with the Cyberverse Dinobots in terms of their design. As for the plastic offerings, that might be a little iffy, but I respect the artwork that went into it. Let's see. We'll come back to that, I think. We'll come back to that. Over here, oh, man. Did you guys see? I'm going to check in with you guys on the comments here. Did you guys see the image of that Authentics RC? Oh, man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. The lower legs obviously just fold up over the upper legs, and the lower arms just fold up into the upper arms. I don't think the arms look good at all, and I'm just waiting for those ball joints to break off because it looks real slender to me, man. But I gotta talk about that face. I'm still having nightmares about it. It doesn't look like RC to me. It looks morbid. I think it's an awful face sculpt. I think it looks horrific. And I'm not saying that, I think it looks bad. I think it looks terrifying. I think it looks horrific. I think it looks like something from like American Horror Story. Like, it's awful. It's an awful face sculpt. I find her look scary. I would never give that to a kid because you're going to terrify him. Let's check it with you guys before I go with the news. Maybe you guys like that RC. I don't know, but I find her horrific, like legitimately horrific. If you like it, cool, but I find it, legitimately horrific. Let's go up here. I don't even know how far up I gotta go. We'll see. I know you guys have been talking, and I'm gonna miss some stuff here, and I apologize for that, guys. Has anyone seen the variant head of Blaster? No, but I saw a picture of the variant head of Blaster. I haven't seen it. My guess is that it may have been put on one or two mistakenly. I'm willing to bet it'll be the regular head when Twincast comes out. We'll see. Maybe it is a running change, but I feel like that is going to be intended to be the head for Twincast. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I don't think I want to smirk. I don't like facial expressions on the face. I like the more stoic faces, like the Earthrise Skywarp with his face. I don't like that. I just wish he had a normal Seeker face. I've been checking Blaster since I heard. As we go down here. Hey, Brian. 50-60. Yeah, if I look at that Blitzwing tracer in terms of US dollars, like I'm seeing $30 maybe in value. I don't see 50 or 60. I don't see it. The all of the like plain junk under, like, for $60 US, you couldn't find a way to deal with that plain junk better. Like, honestly, to me, it's lazy. I don't know, to each their own, but $54.99 a liter here. Fun fact, Slow DK, $54.99 for a liter there, $54.99 for a Voyager here, if you go to Toys R Us anyway. Yeah, that's where we're to. Let's see, 50 a liter there. Okay, as we go down. Laser Prime was $49.99. Now, see, that's a reasonable price, I think, for a leader. The 54 is not too bad if it's a true leader. And I do agree with you, Jay. I think that the Laser Prime, with everything that's there, I think there's enough packed in there to make it a leader. It's definitely more than a Voyager, because the core robot guy is a Voyager, right? So everything there with the trailer and like his sword and that axe thing, like I feel comfortable saying, yeah, I think the Laser Prime is a leader. Got the new drag strip. Not sure. I like it. Want Laser Prime. I don't like the drag strip to do the combine mode breaks in two. Not a fan of that. To each their own, but I'm not a fan of that. Of course, Jay says drag strip is pretty good in his opinion, but we don't mind Jay. Jay likes everything. I don't think I've ever heard Jay say that he didn't like something, ever. Hey, Marcus. Hey, Jay's videos. Ultra cheap KOs of Thrilling 30 Blitzwing are all over Taobao. Okay, if you say so. I did not know that. I still need to convince my parents to let me buy more Transformers, especially Legacy Drag Strip. Good luck. That's all I can say to you there. I was watching last week's live and couldn't figure out why there was no live chat. Sorry about that, EC. Done the shoulder mod on my Thrilling 30 Blitzwing. Had to remove 0.5 millimeter. Still need to do my double dealer. And I'll say this, before I done the fix on my Thrilling 30 Blitzwing, or the Scrapless Thrilling 30 Blitzwing, mine had the problem. So did the double dealer. They both had the shoulder problem. It was like, it's good, but man, that's a real nuisance. What a shame that the shoulders are like that. And after I did the fix, I was like, wow, this is like a whole new figure. This is like a whole new Blitzwing. It works infinitely better. Infinitely better. It's such a simple, easy fix, man. It costs no dollars. I want that drag strip and will not open him until I get all the stunt guns. I think a lot of people are doing that with that drag strip. I agree with Jay. Laser Prime is definitely a leader. As we go down here, a little waffly, solid. Megatronus and the Transformers is very nice. What? I agree. Megatronus and the Transformers. Oh, and the transformation is very nice. Was pleasantly surprised Laser Prime came with the Matrix. Apparently, it's a pain to get out of his chest. I don't know. Laser Prime's not for me. I'm not connected to the G2. That was after my time. But for those who are connected to it, like, I think it's a great upgrade. I really do. I'm not getting it. I'm not interested in a Laser Prime, but I think it's better than the Titan's Return mold for sure. I respect it. It's not for me, but I sure respect it, and I definitely think it's a leader. And if you've been on the fence and you think it's for you, consider to recommend for me. Honestly, there's enough there that I feel pretty comfortable saying that if it was to come to me and I review it, I think I'd be impressed with it. It's just, it's not for my collection. That's all. I did the transformation without using the directions. I can believe that. And it looks intuitive, to be honest with you. I detest the nose cone poking out of the tank. Yeah, I don't like the nose cone poking out of the tank on the new Blitzwing either. I get that it's animation accurate, but it's not out that far in the animation. It should be in a bit more. And apparently there is space there that they could have had a slider there for the nose, but they just didn't bother, because why bother? And I don't like that the panels up over top of the nose cone are purple. They're not supposed to be purple. They're supposed to be beige. So that's not accurate. To me, if you got to pay a leader price for a Voyager, it better be 100% accurate. And it's not. But, you know, again, to each their own. And there's a ton of faux parts on it. That's true, too. Like the wings on the back, they're faux. Or false, if you don't know French. I've heard minor star... Oh, what? Have heard Mirror Starscream suffers from going yellow. Has anyone seen this? Mine is right there, and let's grab him and see. There's mine. No yellow. He's there all the time. I mean, I guess I could believe it, but mine seems okay for what it's worth. But, you know, I mean, he's white, so I guess it could happen. Hasn't happened to mine yet. Won't say it won't. Let's put that back there. Oh, I almost got a cramp in my shoulder. Let's see. As we go down here, I know I'm skipping some stuff, guys. Had Jazz and the Pretenders. The bots were really good at the time for the shells. I agree. I thought the bots inside the Pretender shells were great. I only owned one, but I knew people who owned other ones, so I've handled 6 or 7 of them, right? And I always thought they were great. Like, honestly, Hunger was one of my favorites. Not Hunger. Skullgrin was one of my favorites, and especially his robot inside. I used to always have them apart and have them as 2 Decepticons because my Decepticons ranks were a little lacking. Optimus is a cat. Yeah, apparently. I think that's why third party hasn't done anything with Pretenders. How do you do the shells and have articulation? Well, here's the thing. Look at Fans Project. And when fans clamor for them to do the shells for Dino King, they did them. But apparently it was like the breaking point for them, right? Like, apparently like that broke them. That hurt them. I'm glad they did them. They definitely listened to the fans, but it's not as easy as just do them. There's a lot more to that than just doing them. It's not that easy. Let's see. Store stuff. Didn't Hasbro do an Avengers kind of thing with Pretenders, Iron Man, and Thanos? I have no idea. Clarence All figures. If you're talking about like the one-step changers and stuff, it is, and even then they don't usually sell. You're at Walmart and they got those ugly little yellow tags, and it's like $3, and it's still not selling. One-step changers would help young. No, one-step changers are garbage. Stop saying they're going to help young anything. No, they're trash. You go from rescue bots when you're really young to like more I'll say simplified things like maybe the warrior class for older, and then you go to the main line. The one steps and whatnot, they don't have a place. I'm sorry, they don't have a place. Yeah, okay, yeah, your friend has a 4-year-old. Give the 4-year-old something good. Don't insult the 4-year-old's intelligence by giving them that trash. Give the 4-year-old something good. Not complicated. Good. There's a difference. It's like when people think that fair and equal are the same, they're not. Fair and equal are not the same. Neither is good and complicated. Something doesn't need to be complicated to be good. Some of the simplest transformations are the ones I find the most enjoyable, but they're logical, they're intuitive. Even a kid could figure them out. And that's where they got to get. Not offer them junk that 5 minutes later is either going to break or they're going to get sick of because it's junk. When I got RID Sideswipe and Blur, I respectfully passed them to another friend's little brother. But RID Sideswipe and Blur, like, they weren't over-engineered. They were pretty simple, but they were decent quality. Even here, like our Marshalls and our Winners, which is like your Marshalls and TJ Maxx, like when they stock the stuff after like a year or two later, right? I've never seen like the one-step changers and stuff there. They don't even bother to buy it. Let's see as we go down here. And I know I'm skipping stuff, guys, because I do want to get onto the good gear. Let's see. My 2-year-old played with Rescue Bots for like a week. Now he plays with Earthrise Optimus and Siege Ultra Magnus. There you go, right? Even if he can't transform them all by himself yet, they're just more impressive and you can do more with them. It's more to explore and they're just more interesting. You take that one-step Bumblebee and all you do is flip it back and forth and the chest doesn't even tap in. It's junk. It doesn't even look good. It's junk. Just saying, man. Did FYI, the old animated activators are technically one-step, but they also have more play value. Yeah, but they're not one-step changers like we have now. Just got Cyberverse Slug for my 5-year-old. Nice. $72.99 for Laser Prime. Not hell no, but $72.99 for Laser Prime. Interesting you say that. Sounds like you're in Canada somewhere, but I'm going to tell you now, EC, if you're seeing a Laser Prime somewhere for $72.99, that is a low-end leader class price now in Canada because the going rate is $79.99, $80 plus tax. So I've heard 84 is going to be the going thing, but that's only what I've heard. Interesting. I'd like to know where you're to, EC, if you don't mind, like just the general vicinity. Hey, Chauncey. Haven't seen my friend's nephew in a while. Maybe Rescue Bots would be better. right? They are trash. 94. Why is that bad news in LA? Bad news here in LA is 94 degrees. I don't know what that means. I don't know why that's bad. I'm leery of the new skids because it's mostly clear plastic. Yeah, I guess I've never ever had an issue with clear plastic, so I don't really care. But I'll say this. The one time that clear plastic has concerned me is with Studio Series Jazz, because his entire roof section all relies on a hinge that is significantly clear plastic. If skids is like that, that is concerning, and it'll be enough to knock me out, I think, because so far from Legacy, there's only 3 I'm interested in at all, and that's skids, iguanas, maybe kickback, and that's a big maybe. Outside of that, I haven't seen anything announced yet that I'm remotely interested in, but that's just me. Some of it is because I already got it too, right? I don't need to double dip. I hate clear plastic more and more. I picked up my Titans Return Hot Rod and his windshield split. I don't get that. I don't understand how you people have all these issues with clear plastic. Like, I've had mine fall off the shelves and they're up 8 feet, 9 feet, and 7 or 8 feet. And like, they fall on the floor and they're fine. I don't know. I don't know. I move where I live, and you won't have a problem with clear plastic. That's all I can tell you. I really like the new skids, but the top doesn't attach flush. That annoys me. Again, I can't speak to it. It's not a part of my world yet. Clear plastic on bulk is actually stronger than I expected. Again, can't speak to that. I can't speak to the stuff I don't know, you know? And I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched one Legacy review. If it's not a part of my world, I don't watch it, right? When it's part of my world, I'll watch it. What? Deformation Space Blaster is on its way to me. Very excited. I don't know what that is, but enjoy. It's the only flaw with skids is the clear plastic, or not the. Got them for $52.99 in the US. Ah, okay, I gotcha. You had 72 earlier. I don't know if that was a typo or if that was the exchange rate or something. Texas. Oh, okay. Yeah. Great state of Texas. I'm telling you, Kevin Owens was talking some trash about Texas. Stone Cold set him right, buddy. Stone Cold set him right. What would you look for in Legacy? Are you asking me? I just told you the 3 things I would look for in Legacy. Toy World Hegemon is a lot of clear plastic and still holds up. My Hegemon's perfect. Got Warp Cybertron Huffer and Pipes this week. Now saving for the filler kits for the lower legs. Lower legs are very hollow on them. I didn't know there was filler kits, but I love Pipes and Skids. I think that Pipes and Huffer, I think it's a great mold. Okay, going on with the rest of the news so I can get this done and not be, forever and a day, right? So the authentic stuff, yeah, that gives me nightmares. I think her face is a terrible face sculpt for RC. There's an Optimus Prime helmet that is coming up from Modern Icons. It has LED eyes. It says 3 or 4 phrases. It's beautifully painted. It's very high end. It's like that fancy Iron Man helmet. I don't know who goes around wearing these helmets. Cosplayers, maybe. I don't know. Maybe somebody is a helmet collector. If so, the Optimus is quite good. I do feel like it's a little stylized. Like, I look at the I guess the sculpted helmet. I'm like, that's really cool. It's painted really nice. It's sculpted well, but it's not quite G1 Optimus, not to me. It's beautiful. It is beautiful, but it does seem a little bit stylized to me. eHobby has wave 3 of their super deformed cards out. That pairs Optimus Primal and Beast Wars Megatron, Jazz and Bonsai-tron, and Longtooth and Octopunch, which I thought was a really, really strange one, and Straxus along with Magna Convoy. And if you're like, what's a Magna Convoy? Magna Convoy is that kind of like blue Optimus Prime with the black legs and the black head. I think it was an eHobby exclusive as it was, right? Looks really cool. It's a great color scheme, but Magna Convoy getting his own super deformed trading card. Congratulations, Magna Convoy, I guess. We already talked about the Blaster Smirk, so that's cool. Newage showed off their, I want to read this to make sure I get it right, their glow-in-the-dark, yellow translucent shining Magnus. Now, the yellow Magnus came out from Takara with like the G11 in all yellow, and it was called Shining Magnus. It's like kind of like a Golden Lagoon Magnus, basically. This one is from Newage. It's using a pretty decent Magnus mold that they got, to be honest with you. And it glows in the dark. Pretty freaky. There's a little video up on a lot of the news sites. Check it out. It's pretty freaky, honestly. I like it. I do. If you like the Newage stuff, if you are a Legends collector and you like something quirky, this Magnus might just be up your alley. We saw a picture, a promotional image, if you will, for Earthspark. And Optimus and Bumblebee are on it. Looks pretty much like the Evergreen designs for the most part anyway. And then there's a couple of other bots that we don't know, and then the kids. But what I haven't seen anybody mention yet is if you look at the kids, and if you haven't seen the image, or if you have and you didn't notice, it's like, go back and look at it. What's going on with their arms? Do they have sparks? Are they robots? Are they becoming transformers? Are they like, sorry? I don't know. But there's something going on with those kids' arms. Maybe it's something they wear to communicate with the Transformers or something. I don't know. But there's definitely something going on with those kids' arms. And I'd like to know what it is. It's interesting, but I don't know what it is. What else do we have here? Oh, I thought this was very interesting. There was a rather in-depth like series of postings that covered screen to studio series and like the development process of such a very interesting behind the scenes read. I can't summarize it all for you, but it's worth sitting down, taking some time and reading through that post, and then look at the images. And the two things I noticed about the images is that the animation models have a lot of smooth surfaces and textures. The figures, obviously, they have like creases where parts are put together and stuff, right? Like the RC thigh on the animation model is just one solid piece. But the RC thigh of the studio series is like 3 pieces to allow thigh swivel and whatnot, right? Hinges and parts and whatnot. The other thing I noticed is that I feel like the coloration on the studio series figures is richer than it was on screen. Like the screen version looks a little duller, a little more washed out than what we got in studio series. Studio series pop more visually. They're not perfect renditions, but they're quite close. For example, the inside of RC's arm in the animation model should have black. The inside of RC's arm for studio series doesn't have the black. So like it's minor things, but they're quite good. If I was to give an overall score for the studio series Bumblebee movie characters, I would say that for looks, I can't speak for functioning. I don't have any of them. I can't speak for transformation, though I've heard a bunch of them are fun. But for looks, they're, as a line, I think they're solid, like 9.5, some of them 9.75. They're almost perfect. Not quite there, but they're almost perfect. So if you love the Bumblebee movie, you love the iterations of those characters, I think the line is a solid one, man, for you. A couple of people ask me, are you getting like the Brawn? No, I have the Titans Return Brawn. That's my Brawn. I don't need another Brawn. I don't have a place in my collection for another Brawn. If it comes my way to review, cool. But for me to own it personally, I don't need it. But again, it's not for me, but I respect it. Very, very interesting read. Do yourself a favor and go do it, honestly. What else do we have here? Rising Force showed their Legends Menasaur. I mean, okay, cool, I guess. A Legends Menasaur. Another one. It's going to stand about 23 centimeters tall if you're going right to the top of his antennae. I look at it and I think to myself, looks like a solid set of Stunticons. Apparently the limbs are interchangeable, but I look at the legs and I'm wondering, like, I feel like some things might be floppy there. I don't want to say floppy mesh. I don't think that, but I'm not sure about the solidity of it. I would need to see a lot more than this prototype. And of course, this is, to be fair, a very early prototype. So they have time to kind of cinch things up and make it the best offering they can. I don't know if this is a new company or if this is an offshoot of an already existing company. If it's a new company coming into the foray in the Legends field and their first thing is going to be a combiner Menasaur, you better make it good. You better make it good, or I think you might be sunk before you ever get off the ground, and that would be a shame. Let's see. Legacy Galvatron. It's clean. The boy is clean. Doesn't have the space scoop on him. It was easy to remove the space scoop. I did it. A lot of people did it. But if you didn't do it and you didn't get Galvatron The new one's clean. Simple as that. Doesn't have the space scoop. I mean, there's zero else different. Again, for me, I had the Kingdom one. So do I pay? And I got that one for like $72 or $70 or whatever a liter was at the time. Am I going to pay more now for the Legacy one? No. If I wanted them clear, clean it off. It's as simple as that. Clean it off. So that's what I did. But maybe you like the space goop on them. Maybe you like the battle damage. Maybe that was your thing. You're like, no, man, I got the Kingdom. You got the battle damage. That's what I wanted. And that's cool too. Nothing wrong with that. And then one more piece of news. The piece of news I'm the most excited about. I've talked about this for years. APC is doing Airachnid from Transformers Prime. 100% in. I love that character. Her Transformers Prime figure is utter garbage. It's so bad. It's so bad. I've reviewed it, and I used to hear on reviews like, it's awful. And I was like, man, it can't be that bad. It can't be as bad as what people say. It is. It's beautiful helicopter mode, but the robot mode is one of the worst Transformers that I've ever seen or held or anything. The APC looks like it jumped off the screen. Now, before anybody pipes up and says, whoa, I'm not getting the APC because Legacy might have an Airachnid. You're right. Legacy could have an Airachnid in it. Unfortunately, since I feel like they're not doing justice to the Transformers Prime characters at all, I feel like they would do an Airachnid, and I would look at it and think that doesn't look like Airachnid. Like I look at the RC and I'm like, it's a neat looking bike. I've heard she's loosey goosey. It's a neat looking bike, but it looks nothing like RC. If you didn't explicitly tell me that Legacy Transformers Prime RC is Legacy or is Prime RC, I would never know it. I would never guess that that's what it is. I would be looking at it and say, is it somebody from IDW? I would never guess it's RC, and I feel like they would do the same thing to Airachnid. Maybe you see it and you're like, dude, it's RC. She looks great. If you do, cool. I don't get it. That's all I'm saying. I don't get it. Let's do the trivia. Then I'm going to check in with you guys, and then we're going to see this week's big old unboxing. The trivia. This is an interesting one. It came from our buddy Waspinator 1998. And this is, we've done the moment of silence as well. For those just coming in at the beginning of the show, we did a moment of silence for voice actor Stephen Keener. He passed away this past week. And you would probably know him as the voice of Fort Max, Scorponok, Hardhead, Hunger, Mindwipe. One of the best voices was Mindwipe, and Scattershot. So we did a moment of silence for him earlier. Okay, here's the trivia. This week's trivia. This is a bit of a weird one. What are the last words spoken in Dark Awakening by Rodimus Prime? Now, some people will hear that and they'll be like, no, the narrator done the end of that. Some people will say, oh, yeah, Rodimus Prime did do it. There are two versions of Dark Awakening where there's two different end narrations. One of them, the more, I'd say, common one, the one that's on like the Shout Factory releases, is the version with Rodimus Prime. The version with Rodimus Prime. What's the last words he says? Does he say, till all are one? Does he say, so long, Prime? Does he say, goodbye, old friend? Or does he say, we will meet again? A, B, C, or D? A, till all are one. B, so long, Prime. C, goodbye, old friend. Or D, we will meet again. What does Rodimus Prime say? I'm going to see what you guys say in a moment, but I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to see what you guys have been saying all along. By the way, hi, H&E Games. It's Ike Commander, buddy. But I was trying to get through the news. My skids had a QC issue. Wash? Okay. I don't know what the QC issue was, but okay. I don't know what wash means. Got Warp Starter on Hopper Pipes. Clear plastic on Laser Prime is reinforced on the tabs. That's nice to know too. Deformation Space is making an MP Blaster. They just made the 3 Seekers not too long ago. I knew they made the Seekers. I didn't know they were doing an MP Blaster. I heard only good things about their Seekers though. Woohoo! I made it. Hey Lee. Oh, I had to walk your doggy. I done that with Tessa Bear before I came on the show. When I get home from work, we go for a walk down what used to be train tracks. No trains here anymore. Haven't been for 40 years, 35 years. But the tracks are all here. They've all become like walking trails and stuff now. So we go down the track and then we'll come home and we'll like have our supper and stuff. And then there's a road and a motel kind of up for me, and we go up and we do the once around the motel, and then we come back down. And she's a good girl, so I totally get it, buddy. You had to walk your doggy. Hey, Grimlock gone. Oh, sad news. So a while ago here on the show, I showed you guys a Master Sword that Grimlock Gone had provided to me for Fort Max. It fell off the shelf and it broke. It broke. I'm so sad. I'm gutted. I'm gutted that it broke, and it broke. It's unusable and it broke. I was really gutted. I don't like when stuff like that happens. I talked last week about how much I value when people have given me stuff like that and how special it is. So I was really gutted by that. I saw a video of a kid giving a Universal Studios Megatron puppet the head of Optimus Prime. Interesting. Yes, $72.99 Canadian for Laser Prime EC. Canadian, buddy. Actually, now that would be more like $80 Canadian, because that's what the going price is here in Canada for a leader. Yeah, glow in the dark. It's pretty cool looking. Just ordered DK32 upgrade kit with Daniel. For those who don't know, the DK32 upgrade kit, I think, is the one for Studio Series Slug, if I'm not mistaken. If you want Daniel that bad, I feel like that one is a better homage to like the G1 toy. I want the G1 animation. So, I mean, but to each their own. There's nothing wrong with it. And I think DNA Design does a great job. So, Authentic RC is truly the stuff of horror. Yes, she is. I agree. Most likely a Western animation version of Master Force. I haven't seen it yet. Just a heads up for those of you who produce content. There's a spam epidemic in comments where they will copy your channel icon and create an account name close to yours to trick people. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm so controversial, and so many people already don't like me because they can't handle the truth and they're big crybabies, that anybody who would do anything would like pretty much have to be nicer than me, right? Like, if you guys are here, it's because you're here for the truth, because you value the truth, and you don't just want pandering. If you're here because you want your little opinion validated and you want me to be a little yes man, say everything you say is right, then I'm the wrong dude. I'll freely admit I'm the wrong dude for that. Congratulations, you won a prize. Message me on Telegram. Pay $25. Anybody who pays $25 to claim a prize, honestly, deserves to lose their money. Like, if it's like when there's all these scams that get emailed and stuff. It's like, you can make $1 million. You just have to invest $3,000. And like, is anybody really dumb enough to like take out their life savings and be like, I'm going to invest $3,000 because I'll get $1 million back? Like, are you really that much of an idiot? If that's the case, you need to go to school and do some learning, man. Honestly, if it smells fishy, if it looks fishy, it's probably fishy. Just saying. Easy money ain't a thing, baby. What? 99 mil will protect you all from the scam. Oh, yeah, right. My problem with Legacy Galvatron is you're paying for the same amount of money, if not more, for fewer paint apps. I thought about that too, actually. But see, what you're paying for is the extra cardboard for the boxes and the art on that. That's what you're paying for. They should have used the budget for the Space Scoop and applied some other details. And he is missing details. You should have taken out the Space Scoop. You should have given him his little goatee thing, or his Van Dyke, whatever it is he got there. You should have given him his little red dot on his head crest. You should have given him the red on his shoulder pauldrons. You should have given him the red on his hip skirt things. He's missing all that. You should have taken off the goop and given him his proper apps, right? She looks so good. You got to be talking about Airachnid, and I agree with you. Just dropped in and say hi. Hey, Boss Gunny. Jen selects Galvatron would be enough for me. And that's fair. That's fair. Nothing wrong with that. No, you're right. Hasbro would never make Airachnid look that good, Big M. I'm right there with you, buddy. The shoulder are such a non-issue. It's cool that they fixed, but you can flip them around. I got news for you. I wasn't even going to flip mine around. Our buddy Justin from the 3D Corner flipped my shoulders around because I wasn't doing it. I was petrified. I had to go outside while he done mine because it scared me to no end. I wasn't going to do it. Mine were upside down. They were fine. He transforms fine. Anybody who says, can't transform, then you don't know how to transform him. Because regardless of how his shoulders are, he transforms just fine. In my review, when I've done the review of Galvatron, his shoulders are not fixed. And you'll see, I transform him just fine. Prime Airachnid may not be your cup of tea, hot cocoa, but I like it regardless, hopefully to get. What? Prime Airachnid may not be your cup of tea or a cup of hot cocoa, but I like it regardless. Hopefully to get. I don't know what you mean by that, Blue. Surely you don't mean the actual Transformers Prime Airachnid. If that's what you think, then you obviously haven't handled it because it's garbage. She can't stand up. She can bend her knee, but she can't really even kick her leg forward or back. The arms are flat panels. The hand has a hole in the middle. It's garbage. The back of the head is like the cockpit section. She can't turn her head. She's garbage. There's literally nothing to like. I have not seen the APC up for pre-order anywhere, Big M. Thanks, Stone Cold, for back. Well, I mean, he's from Texas, right? He's from Texas. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm Canadian. Kevin Owens, KO might be Canadian, but I got to say, I knew he was running his mouth too much. I knew he was running his mouth too much. See. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B. So long, Prime. That's the words he said. So long, Prime. It was B. That was a good one, though. Look, Big M got it. Brian got it. Wash, as in I was hoping to get the Wave QC issue free. Oh, okay. But that's the thing, H&E Games. For these prices and stuff, you were hoping to get the Wave QC free. QC shouldn't be an issue for what we're paying. We should not have to worry about QC. My favorite was I love that they have now these windowless boxes. My favorite was when Pia opened his up, and it was not Optimus. It was like a bottle of I think it was Coke. And it was in the ties, and sweet and sour sauce, maybe. I don't know. But I was like, yeah, here's your problem. Here's your problem with these empty boxes or with these windowless boxes. Oh, it's up on Show Z. Is it okay? I didn't know that. What was the question? How did you miss the question, man? The question's done now. The question was, at the end of Dark Awakening, what does Rodimus Prime say? And he says, so long, Prime. I had a scammer try to get me yesterday, and I shut them down. I like sometimes stringing them along and seeing how far we can get. I kind of started doing it after. I don't know if you've ever seen this comedian James Veach. If you haven't, stuff is worth checking out. His TED Talks are worth checking out. It's hilarious because he strings the scammers right along. It's pretty funny. Without skipping a beat, I said I don't own one of those, but I do. I like when I get them call me and it's stuff that's local for the United States. I'm like, wow. Or when it's when they come in, they claim to be CRA, Canadian Revenue Agency. And I'm like, wow, I'll talk to my wife about that because she works for CRA. And then they hang up, mysteriously enough. Funny how that works. Been listening, making pancakes. Oh, nice. Pancakes. Sounds good, man. Have a good night. You got to go. I got to go shortly, too. Saw Bulkhead with a missing head this morning. I've also seen 2 or 3, and I don't get this one. I've also seen 2 or 3 of the Buzzworthy blue streaks or silver streaks, with their heads missing. I don't know why people are taking the heads. That's weird. I once had Chinese scammers call me to tell me there was something wrong with my computer that I built myself. That's hilarious. That is funny. Yeah, missing a head. That's weird one. Okay, so Tonight, we have one unboxing. I'm going to tell you now, I'm doing the review for this tomorrow. We're going to kick off the weekend with the review for this. And the unboxing is, oh, hold on. Let me get this. Oh, buddy. Oh. You can't see the whole box, but it's obviously Black Zarak. Yeah, Black Zarak in the house. And oh boy. Oh. 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 So I know. So tomorrow is gonna come. I'm thankful, by the way, my Tyrant Spear had all the right parts. Tomorrow's going to come. We're going to do the review. I don't show the transformations. We saw them with Scorponok, right? I'm going to certainly talk about the different modes and what is slightly different on this guy and certainly what's the same. And we're going to see I'll say my updated. I don't want to say final anymore because you never know when there could be an evolution, but it feels pretty final for my ultimate Decepticon base. Those of you who have followed have seen when I put all of my Autobot bases together, and it's pretty mammoth. I'm going to show you one configuration, one version of my ultimate Decepticon base, which is, to be fair, going to be a kind of an end-to-end sort of thing, but you'll be able to see the mass of it, and you'll be able to see the Decepticon Titan bases really in comparison next to each other in their base modes. But there's something about this version that when it's in base mode, it feels different. It doesn't feel like a run-of-the-mill base to me. And I'll explain why I think that and how I feel that tomorrow, because the black and the gold and the red, there's something very regal about it. There's something special about it. I'm going to say that. There's something special about it. So we're going to look at it tomorrow. Before anybody says anything about, oh, no, he's going to have GPS. GPS hasn't been a thing in about 20 years, maybe 15. It's not a thing anymore. This is not going to be like the G1, thankfully. Do I think it should have been Titan? No. Do I still love having it? Absolutely. So that is this week's big unboxing, and he is every bit impressive. Black Rorichi, I have him paired with him now as well. So he has like kind of 2 Tyrant Spears. I mean, you can already tell that tomorrow's review of this guy, which runs about, I'll tell you now, it runs about, I think it's 23 minutes, something like that. And I do the Ultimate Decepticon base near the end. But you can probably already tell that this guy's going to score well. You know, this guy's going to do well. Why? Because he's just that darn good, man. He really, really is. So next week, of course, we're going to have a couple more things the week after. Might be a bigger unboxing. We'll see. And hopefully by then, the week after that, we'll have something else interesting. So we'll see. There's some interesting stuff coming up for sure. Let's check in with you guys here one last time. That's a nice looking box. Actually, it's funny. In the review, I'll say this is the boringest Titan class box that we've gotten yet, which is funny, right? I have my BZ and upgrades waiting to ship. Your Black Zarak has upgrades. Oh, man. Enjoy when you get them. I didn't get the upgrades. I didn't need the upgrades, but I understand getting the upgrades. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Congratulations. But would he be the same in Universal Collision or someone else? Good question. Good question, Blue. Guess you'll have to see. Thought he'd be bigger. Watch tomorrow and you'll see how big he is. He is. Fun fact, he's bigger than Scorponok. Interestingly. I didn't expect that, but color me surprised. You'll see tomorrow. Black Zarak pops, gotta admit. And I'm going to tell you now, pictures don't do the guy justice. Not to in hand, not to seeing him in all of his glory, especially the head sculpt, which is slathered in paint. And I mean slathered in paint. If I didn't have Scorponok, I would have gotten Black Zarak. I got a bad feeling about this. I don't know what you got a bad feeling about, but okay. Black Zarak, woohoo, he's awesome. Hey, Masterfire, I want to have you one. What? Oh, you want to have me on a live stream soon? Maybe with Toy Guru. If we can work out a time, man, sure. I'm officially going all in on Legacy. Good luck with that, Masterfire. Funny, you're going all in on Legacy. I'm barely getting anything. But to each their own, ladies and gentlemen. Love you guys. I appreciate you coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we offer to you through Teespring. Or of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member, baby. Anytime. Just saying, anytime. Hit the subscribe button. Stick around. Have some fun with us. Tomorrow's going to be Black Zara. Don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, and each and every single one of you do make a difference in the world. Whether you know it or not, man, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either right here in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way, baby, inside the videos.